for the speed, reach for the whistle, go where the rail may run. Reach for the words, reach for the story, follow the rainbow sun. To a shining time station, where dreams can come true, waiting there for you. So much to see, so far to travel, so much to learn to know. Friends by your side, hopes to hold on to, who knows how far you'll go. To a shining time station, where dreams can come true. Your own imagination waiting there for you.
The 1970s saw a lot of additions to the Children's Museum of Indianapolis collection. One of the largest and most popular additions was the train collections. In 1970, Noble Bittinger, a local investment banker who'd been collecting model trains for 20 years by the time former board president Jack Lawrence Jr., suggested that the museum would be a great home for the collection if he ever decided to part with it. Bittinger agreed, and the museum refurbished the garage behind the Rau Library to house an 18x24 layout featuring 8 operating trains. From the day it opened in June 1970, the gallery was a hit. Robert Vickers, who is just as avid a train collector as Bittinger, having acquired thousands of locomotives, cars, and accessories over a 20-year period. In 1974, Vickers' collection joined Bittinger's at the museum. In 1976, with the museum's move into their new building on Meridian Street in Indianapolis, a new 30x30-foot O-scale layout with 5 operating trains and 900 feet of track on 3 levels was built and installed alongside the exhibit, featuring the museum's massive toy train collection. They had amassed, totaling nearly 6,000 pieces in 12 to 1,300 sets. The exhibit surrounding the layout was called Toy Train Treasures, which had hundreds of toy trains on display by several manufacturers, including Lionel, American Flyer, Ives, Beggs, Dorfan, Voltan, Boucher, Carlisle and Finch, Hafner, Buddiel, along with examples of British, French, and German trains between the late 1870s up till post-World War II. Throughout the 1980s and 90s, the exhibit was visited by thousands, and was even featured on shows, such as The Today Show in 1985.
Been on or actually been close to a train.
So what do they think when you show them the exhibit?
Well, it's just, kids, for example, today think that going out in space is obviously the important thing, and they can show their parents about that. And their parents and grandparents can show them about trains, and there's a lot of what we call intergenerational sharing in this. And fathers and grandfathers love these trains and get the kids involved in some of their memories and past.
Along with Tracks Ahead, a railroad-themed TV series out of Wisconsin that covered all aspects of railroad in 1990. Along with the larger O-scale layout, the exhibit featured a smaller HO-scale layout that featured 2 operating trains, most likely not nearly as popular as the O-scale layout. The museum even became an authorized Lionel service station, with the need to repair the trains after hours of runtime. In the late 1990s, the Central Indiana chapter of the Train Collectors Association even had the opportunity to run their trains as well as upkeep the layout. In 1999, with the change in management, the entire exhibit was removed due to it being touted as taking up too much space. Even though most of the nearly 6,000-piece model train collection was no longer available to the public, currently stored in the museum's collection area, a small portion of the massive collection is viewable in the all-aboard exhibit on the lower level. Even after 22 years without this fine exhibit on show, one wonders what happened to the HO and O-scale layouts, as they've been without a trace for 2 decades, and if this exhibit would ever return. But time will tell.